The following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com.
Welcome to Growing Business and Community, the podcast of the Upward Niagara Chamber of Commerce. I'm Jennifer Pauley, president of the Chamber, and we are in December. We're through the second week of December now, and wow, what a year. It's hard to believe everything that our Chamber has accomplished throughout the year with our board of directors, with our membership and our staff. It has been one of those years where you look back on and you say, wow, our staff and our volunteers really accomplished a lot. Looking back from 2022 to 2023 and the changes that have just been throughout the community have been pretty impressive to see. I think last year in 2022, we were still coming off of that COVID ride. We had a couple years there where it was just a lot of the word pivot being used. And I think we finished that in 2022, having a clear vision of what this past year was going to look like. And boy, did we make our board of directors go through the work this year. They put the work in, we carried it out, and I'm really excited to look forward to next year, going forth, with some of the new things we did this year and just having a clear vision for 2024. I can't wait to come back to work on January 2nd with a new outlook for the year. I think most of us look forward to ending that year and starting fresh. But when you start fresh with a clear vision and understanding what you were able to accomplish, changing over a lot of things, it's an exciting process. So wanted to talk about just a few things that we did this year. We do have our membership meeting on Wednesday, which we'll also go over all of these things. That is at the Yacht Club, the Youngstown Yacht Club on Wednesday morning. The past few years, we have carried out this tradition of having a full membership meeting at the end of the year where anybody can come. Members are invited, and we just have a time of networking and fellowship, and we give an overview of what we did. We've had it at a few different places, from the Power Authority to the Country Club to the View in Sanborn, and this year we chose Youngstown as our destination. So looking forward to that. However, we just found out that the parking is unavailable down below at the Yacht Club. They are redoing Water Street. So we're coming up with some different solutions for that, possibly a shuttle to get our members down there. But I wanted to go over some of the major accomplishments that we've taken care of throughout the year. And I guess the major one, the most important one, was the changing of our name. So we went from the Niagara River Region Chamber of Commerce to the Upward Niagara Chamber of Commerce. And we didn't just pick a name out of the air. This was such a process. We were able to hire Riveter Design out of Buffalo, and they guided us through this really intensive process of looking at concepts and coming up with names and the tonality of what the names meant, and putting things together and what our purpose was, what our mission was. They surveyed board members, they surveyed community members. This was months long of sitting and looking at research and coming up with designs to come up with what we have now. And we have been excited about that. We unveiled that in April, and I believe we started that in September of 2022. From September all the way through the end of March of this past year was that process of coming up with our new identity. And wow, has it served us well. We went from a name that really had no meaning. When you think of the Niagara River region, where do you think? I mean, it starts in Buffalo and goes all the way to Lake Ontario. That's a huge region. And I think only our area refers to the Niagara River region as that. So our first hurdle really was, where are you? And where is your community? Where does this represent? So honing in on that was really something that we took into consideration when thinking of the word upper. Now I have to tell you, before the Niagara River Region Chamber of Commerce name, there was actually another word added onto that. It was the Lower Niagara River Region Chamber of Commerce. Now, come to a Friday when you're answering the phones or people are coming into the chamber and you're introducing yourself. That was a mouthful. So there were times when, come Friday at 4 o'clock, we'd answer the phone, chamber. So, that process of whittling down what our name was actually happened before I started at the chamber 15 years ago, dropping that word lower. So we went from lower in our name to now the upper in our name. So a full 360, I guess you could say, of how we came to, to that process. I do have to say, if you are looking at redoing a logo or coming up with a brand or coming up with a new name, I highly recommend hiring a firm to do that with you. Riveter Design in Buffalo was the choice after looking at a few different firms in the area. We wanted something Western New York, located in Western New York, and that could fit in our price point. It was an investment, but we found a company that really listened to what we wanted to do, had some experience in the chamber world, had experience in a nonprofit world, and we couldn't be happier with the results. So if you're looking to do that, that is my suggestion. Definitely hire somebody else to help you through that process. I think we could have came up with some things ourselves, but nothing that would have stuck and nothing that we would have been completely proud of full circle. So highly recommend doing that. So I want to say that that's probably our most proud accomplishment, something that we are really proud of throughout the year. And that was a huge process. Not only do you change your name and the logo, but you change all of your assets. So think about everything that you have your name and logo on, from social media to press releases to products, mugs, t-shirts, to websites, to stationery, envelopes, anything that you had your name out before, old signage, events, things that you sponsored. It was a huge process to change all of that over. And I have to tell you, we're still finding areas in marketing where the old name is attached to our chamber. So we're still changing some of those things over, especially in our event realm, looking at some old signage that we have to redo. So it is one of those changes. I think we'll probably still be going into April of next year, changing over the name. That led to us starting the year off with hiring a consultant to help our board really fine-tune the strategic mission and strategic plan and the mission of our chamber. So we did that in January. We hired a really great nationally known chamber specialist. It was an investment for us, but since our board was already going through that investment of a logo change and a name change, this was the next step. His name is Kyle Sexton. He is unbelievable. He talked our board through an entire process of, what are you looking to do throughout this year? What are you looking to do for your membership, for your community, for your staff? How do you want to elevate this chamber? And our board had homework to do before that session. He really helped us, throughout a full day, come out with what our plan was for 2023 and beyond. And I have to say, he was great. He follows us throughout the year. We've gone through several different planning sessions with him, and looking forward to some great things happening. One of the things that came out of our strategic planning with our consultant is we went from a model of everybody pays the same dues, $225 is your membership dues, to an elevated status of membership tiers. Now, this is for members that want something a little bit more. We offer the same thing to all of our members, but we do have some members that are looking for more output from the chamber. They have specific things that they want from the chamber. They have specific things that they want to be seen for, and we are the conduit to make that happen. So we went from a flat rate for everybody to now establishing some other tiers, membership tiers that you can join in. You can join in on every level. And we started to roll that out in 2023 and had some early adopters. So we're eternally grateful for our members who became those early adopters, not really knowing what we were going to be able to do with the year, not knowing if we were going to be able to fulfill everything throughout the year that we were planning to do. And they took the step with us. So I appreciate all of those early adopters that believed in us throughout this year and know that we can do our membership tier plan that we have in place for 2024. So a special thank you to those members who took a chance on us and really made things happen. Some of the things that happened throughout the year that are part of our new membership tier structure, we had a legislative lunch. And we honestly thought we were going to have 8 people, 8 of our elected leaders around a table, really just talking through community issues and talking through changes and things that we can do to make the region better. Well, we ended up with a luncheon for over 50 people. It was amazing. And that's not something that we had really thought was going to happen. Something new that happened with that also was our stakeholders dinner. We were able to get our highest level investors in the room together for a really nice dinner at Carmelo's, and no business was talked about. It was really a chance to just enjoy each other's company, sit around the table. Maybe some business was talked about what they were doing in their positions, but we really just wanted to bring together stakeholders to really enjoy each other, maybe make some new connections, and we're looking forward to doing that again next year. One of the other additions to our year was this podcast. This is always something that we've wanted to do. It started during COVID with a little webisode because Suzanne and I missed each other, and honestly, we're bored. And we had people viewing that. We talked about some important things that were happening during COVID, but it was also just us talking about chamber work. And we knew that it was going to go somewhere, had no clue where. And with the help of Maranto Media and Emerge and Rich, we made this happen. And I actually have some big plans for next year. We already have some guests lined up for 2024. This is an ever-growing thing, and we're really excited about where this is going to take us, because podcasting is something that can give our members just a new way to get their information out. So we want to make sure that you come along with us next year. If you're interested in coming on our podcast, let us know. We'll add you in. We also made an addition to our staff this year. The beginning of the year, we were able to hire an administrative assistant, and Susie Reinhardt is in our office as our admin assistant about 20 hours a week. She's wonderful. I actually knew Susie in 2011 is when I met her. I was a part of the Leadership Niagara class that year, and Susie was one of the trainers and was part of the staffing for the program that year. So that is where Susie and I go way back from that point. And she's retired and has always helped and volunteered with the chamber. She lives in Lewiston. And, when the time came, because she was such an avid volunteer, we had extended the administrative position to her. She had helped us with several projects, and she was all in. She said, yep, that'll be fine. I can jump right in. And so Susie is the wonderful addition to our staff. She complements Suzanne and I. So Suzanne and I are the only 2 full-time employees of the chamber, and then Susie rounds us out. It's been kind of fun having a Suzanne and Susie in the office. When people call, they don't know what one they're speaking to, but it's been a great addition to our staff. So thank you, Susie, for all that you have done with us. We carried out the rest of the year with our business blenders, had more of a schedule with those. We're looking forward to those in 2024. The first one will be in February at Cask and Cow, so join us then. We, of course, did our ribbon cuttings throughout the year. Those are always a great event where we're able to highlight a new business or a business that is celebrating something. We invite our board of directors, other business owners, community leaders to come and celebrate, and they're always a great time to get to know a new business or get to know the business owner and find out what they're doing, find out what they offer, and, spread the word. The events also are part of our program of work. So we support a lot of other events that happen in our region. We help with the promotion. Sometimes we help with, some equipment. They borrow A-frames. They borrow signage from us. They borrow, a little bit of everything from us. But the events that we produce from start to finish are the Smelt Festival, the Jazz Festival, the Harvest and Hops Festival, the Christmas Walk, Small Business Day. Those are our signature events that we produce from start to finish. And I have to say, this year we brought the Smelt Festival back in a different way. We were able to partner with the Griffin Pub in Lewiston. And Ken Shabetta, as you know, is our Smelt King for years. And he said, let's bring it back. We've had some weather issues over the years, from rain to snow to freezing cold to mud, you name it, we've had it. Also have had some location changes just due to different structures being built and different things happening throughout the community. So it's changed from the waterfront to next to Whirlpool Jet Boats to Academy Park. And we looked at that festival saying, how can we make this still happen? People love to get their sample of the smelt. What can we do to make this happen, whether it's raining or not? And Ken said, let's do it at the Griffin. It's on the waterfront. We have covering. It's out on the patio. If it's a beautiful day, we can have our band. The smelt truck is there. The truck is there selling with the smelt. He has everything ready for it. So we did that for the first time this year, and it was a win-win for us both. So that's always the first Friday in May. Join us in 2024 for that event. The Jazz Festival was probably the largest festival we have ever produced. I say that every year, that how can it get bigger? How can this grow any larger? And it has. It surpasses all of our expectations. So that was held the end of August. And when I tell you it's full year of planning, it is a full year. It is without a doubt a full year of planning. We're already in the throes of contracts and logistics for 2024 festival. The Harvest and Hops Festival is one of our favorite festivals. There's so much room for growth there. Years ago, we had it on the side of the street between the sidewalk and the curb. So the street wasn't closed years ago. It was just a kind of a country market, and you strolled up and down the center street on the sidewalk to look at the vendors. Well, in 2018, we knew that this needed to change, and we closed down the street, moved the vendors inside Center Street, and it has grown ever since then. And next year, we will be adding a car show to that weekend as well with the help of Coppin Service Center. So big plans for that. Christmas Walk was just the first weekend in December, as well as the Small Business Day, the last weekend in November. Those two events we produced as well from start to finish. Small Business Day is one of those days that is such a fun day to celebrate because it's dedicated to small business. And this year we went along with the theme, support everything local. You know, you can't go wrong with doing that, right? So we want you to, no matter what time of the year it is, to continue to support those businesses in your community. Those are the owners that live in your community. They support other organizations in your community. That those funds just stay there. So not only holiday season, but 365 days a year, make sure you support local. We also had the Christmas Walk with kind of a rain out weekend, but we still had a great time. It started with the tree lighting Friday night. It rained all the way up until that point. The Lewiston Council on the Arts did an amazing job on the Domino Band shell with the tree lighting. Saturday was a little hazy. I actually woke up and was on Center Street at 6 in the morning, and the fog was starting to roll in. I said, oh no, this can't be good. It was lightly sprinkling, and we had gotten the phone call from Rainbow Air, who provides Santa, coming in from the North Pole, and he said, listen, the clouds are a little bit too low for Santa to arrive by helicopter. Fingers crossed, next year we will have skydiving elves again and the helicopter arrival. Of course, that is all weather permitting. So when the weather does not permit, we still have a plan to bring in Santa. He did come in on the beautiful band shell, greeted all of the children, was able to come down on Academy Park, and we actually had a really nice crowd that was there to greet Santa. He got on the float that is decorated by James Strasburg and his family, and we did our Santa Promenade down Center Street, where he greeted children the rest of the day through 4 o'clock. We had carriage rides, we had a petting zoo, free miniature golf, letters to the North Pole, And also with the letters to the North Pole, if you still have a child that needs to write a letter to Santa, they have until next Monday to get that letter in to get a response back from Santa. We also had a beautifully decorated wreath, beautifully decorated gazebo and sleigh out there. And that was just a wonderful weekend with a little bit of rain on and off that entire Friday and Saturday. And then we got to Sunday and we weren't sure, do we cancel the parade? Do we not? Our entries in the parade took so much care and time to create these wonderful full floats, and they were all in. We probably had about 10, I think we counted 10 or 11 that, dropped out due to the rain and cold and children, and we completely understand. But we were able to have the Christmas Lights Parade at 5:30 on December 3rd. It feels like an eternity ago. It was December 3rd. We had about 40 floats in the parade, and complete with Niagara Falls Marching Band to Janet Dunson's Dance Academy to NOCO, had a nice fleet of trucks there all decorated, Deal Realty, Great Lakes Realty, ABC Preschool in Ransomville. These are just a few off the top of my head. Crescent Moon Rentals had one of the best floats around. You have to go to our social media pages to see it. Unbelievable. Lewiston Antiques and Estates had, what's his name? I can't remember. Krampus. I don't know if you know who that is, but it was a huge, Christmas Krampus type statue on his float. And that was very, very creative float. So it was amazing. 5:30, the parade started. It rained all the way up until that point. A little bit of rain, a little bit of that annoying drizzle. 5:30 when we started, it stopped. And I looked out on the street and could not believe the amount of people that were there looking and waiting for the parade. We made it happen. And, third annual parade done. So now we're coasting to the end of the year. We are making sure we get our renewals out. We are tidying up a few things, putting away all of our event material. This is when we start our planning for 2024 with the nitty-gritty details of all of the things that we're doing. Planning starts a long time ago, but it's during this quiet time that we're really able to focus and figure out what our outcomes need to be, figure out, any strategy that needs to happen, fine-tune what we've already put out in our program of work for the year. And actually, it's one of our favorite times because we have a little bit lighter schedule in January. We don't have any events happening, so our team just gets together to focus along with our board of directors. So looking forward to the next couple weeks. I actually take all of my vacation days in December, so you may not see much of me throughout the rest of this year as I spend a lot of time with my family and try to make Christmas happen in my household. That has not happened yet. We're actually getting new windows and doors today as we speak, so Christmas has not arrived in my house yet. Who wants to put up all those decorations just to take them back down and then put them up again? So I'm looking forward to making that happen over the next couple days in my household. Have a few more things this week. We have our breakfast again for the chamber on Wednesday morning. If you're joining us, we can't wait to see you. If not, we'll see you next year there. Our Jazz Festival Board of Directors is meeting on Thursday for their holiday lunch. And I have a few more meetings to go, and then it's 2024. So thank you for joining us throughout this year, throughout this podcast. We're going to take a couple weeks off, and we're going to join you the second week in January. I'm not coming here on Christmas Day in my Christmas pajamas, and you don't want to see anybody on January 1st, after celebrating the New Year's celebration. So we'll see you in 2024. Thank you so much for joining us on this podcast. When we started this, we really had no idea what we were doing. I'm going to tell you, we still don't know what we're doing, but we have a little bit more of an idea of where we want to go in 2024. Again, thank you, Rich, for all of his help. He makes this happen, and we're really proud to partner with Marento Media on this endeavor. So thank you for joining us for Growing Business and Community. We'll see you in 2024.